My name is Joe Gannon. I call this story The Coward and the Turtle. Show us your tattoos! Show us your tattoos! Now, I spent the evening before in this neighborhood in San Salvador that was held by the FMLN rebels who'd started this final offensive against the US-backed government that was mostly made up of bankers and death squad psychopaths. And about 0:30, I tried to sneak between the lines, try to get back to my hotel. And I go around the corner, and I run into this squad of soldiers, and they're all bedraggled and angry, and this huge guy with a bayonet comes running up at me. Show us your tattoos! Show us your tattoos! I go, I don't have any, I don't have any. He's like, show us your tattoos! I go, I don't have any, I don't have any! And I didn't have any. I didn't have any underwear on either. So if I say the word turtle, I don't think every man in this place might understand that standing there with my drawers down, my junk had kind of retracted so far up inside of me, it must have looked like a turtle. And they were looking for a tall North American terrorist with big bushy beard and tattoos. But I didn't have any tattoos. But they arrested me anyways and brought me over to the National Police, and they had to handcuff me and blindfold me and bring me in for this paraffin test to see if you've been firing a weapon, you have gunpowder on you. And I wasn't worried about it, and after a few hours, they come along like, all right, Senor Gannon. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm going to go back to my hotel. Got a good story to tell. But they have to handcuff me and blindfold me to transport me. And when they finally let me up and take the blindfold off, as we're going in, it doesn't say El Camino Real. It says Policía de Hacienda, the Treasury Police. At that time, officially designated by Amnesty International as the most murderous group of uniformed men in the hemisphere. And I'm just going, no, 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 no. And they bring me into this dingy little room, and there's angry corporals running around everywhere. They're all corporals, and they're all angry because they're fucking losing the war. And they sit me down, and they go through this long questionnaire, but then they just leave me in this dingy little room, and I look down on this filthy linoleum floor. There's really this little stain that looks like this little turtle. It's got like two little legs and its little hands, so I just stare into that thing and kind of hypnotize myself and eventually calm down enough to imagine regaling a table full of journalists with my story about not having any tattoos or any underwear. And in a little while, they bring this other guy in, and they slam him into this chair. And they're angry, but they seem to be just angry in general. And I look at this guy, and right away I see he's got these deep grooves in his thumbs, because that's how the police and the death squads did it. They'd restrain you by tying your thumbs behind your back. And he had these deep grooves along his side of his head where the blindfold had cut in. I'm like, man, they'd been driving this guy for hours, which means he's from the deep countryside where the real shit went down. But he's a dirt farmer. He's got cracked nails and splayed toes in his bare feet and this sun-caked skin, the sun-baked skin. And he's a campesino. And angry corporal number 2 comes over and starts to have the long interrogation for him. And man, their conversation went south very quickly. It got as far as fecha de nacimiento, date of birth. And the campesino goes, ¿Qué me dice usted, señor? What did you say, sir? And the corporal says, fecha de nacimiento. And the guy goes, ¿Qué me dice, señor? When were you born, you fucking moron? And the campesino goes, oh, summertime. Because in 1989 in El Salvador, that's all he knew. The corporal's like, fucking farmers. Fine, wait. And the guy goes, ¿Qué me dice, señor? Because he didn't understand what it meant. Wait. The corporal's like, fucking Christ, how much do you weigh? And the campesino got as far as, ¿Qué me dice? And the corporal just grabbed him and slammed him into this other room, through the door, banging him. And they have a scale in there, one of those height and weight scales that they had me on. And it's right behind my chair, and I hear the corporal in there. I hear the clanging of the machine as he smashes that guy into the scale, and I hear his head slamming into it, and it's banging into my chair, and the corporal screaming, how much do you fucking weigh? How much do you fucking weigh? And that little bubble, man, that I'd managed to stay in was just popped. It's like in medieval times, they used to show you the instruments of your torture before they hurt you, and that's what they had done. They had showed me the instruments of my torture, and I just broke. I just caved. And they bring that guy back in, and I go back and I find that turtle on the floor, and I'm just staring at it, and they bring him in. But I can see him. He's got this blood coming down his face, and he makes this weird dog leg around the side of his jaw and down to his neck. And he's looking at me, and he's staring at me, and I know what he's thinking. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know why he's there. I know why he's there, and I'm a gringo, so I'm more powerful and richer than he will ever be. But I won't give it to him, and I feel it's like these tractor beam eyes on me, man, and I just won't give him that little glance, just a little nod like it's going to be okay, brother, even if it wasn't going to be, because I was just too scared. And after a little while, they came and got him and forced his head against the wall, put his thumbs back behind his back, and they take him out that door. And I know, man, to the right is the street and the main gates, and to the left is somewhere else. And amidst all the screaming and banging, all I hear is the word abajo, which means below. And he was gone. And 30 years later, still, when my ego gets a little too hot, Valley Voice's Story Slam has chosen you. And I think, I'll give him a war story. But what comes to mind is that campesino floating up out of the pools of my memory, and he makes me tell this story instead. I was a coward with a turtle between my legs.